Hey everyone, welcome to Day Deal on Display, daydeal.com's own YouTube channel regarding product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Today we have somewhat of a Day Deal on Display exclusive to show you. We are going to be checking out these very cool cases. These are Sinra DesignWorks block cases for the iPhone 4. You're more than welcome to check these cases out at their official website at any time, but just a forewarning, you may want to go ahead and brush up on your Japanese before you head to the website. You'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes when you head on over there. Just go ahead and visit them at www.sinra-inc.com. Now, what can be said about these particular block cases for the iPhone 4 outside of the obvious that they look really cool? Well, even though these are designer cases, they are also functional cases for your phone, and they do add some protection. That is because these cases are made of thermoplastic polyurethane, or TPU for short, and that material is very popular amongst many brand name cell phone accessory makers. Every company out there has at least one case in their product family line that is either made entirely of TPU, or the majority of the case or cover itself is made of thermoplastic polyurethane, so please keep that in mind. Now, the block cases do come in 6 different colors. 5 of them we have laid out in front of us right now: orange, hot pink, teal, black, cool green, or neon green, or we like to call that particular color, as well as this dark purple or grape that we have pre-installed on our own iPhone 4. And I'll go and give you that 360 tour in just a moment. Now, looking at the case a little bit closer, I want to go ahead and elaborate on the benefits of TPU as a material. Thermoplastic polyurethane has similarities to both rubber and elastic. On the rubber side, it pretty much has the same shock absorbing value of rubber without all the added density or weight, meaning that it's not as heavy as rubber. If you had a case made entirely of rubber that looks exactly the same as the case I'm holding in front of me right now, it would sink like a brick. It would be very heavy. It would be very unwieldy to use, and of course it would not be that flexible. Now, on the elastic side of things, TPU is actually quite bendable. It's quite stretchable. It basically can be contorted in some pretty funky shapes like such, and it looks like I'm damaging the case, but that's really not the true story at all. Due to the thermoplastic polyurethane material, you can actually just go ahead and leave it alone for a few minutes. It goes back into its pre-molded form. No harm, no foul. There are no creases, no major dents, no discolorations, and more importantly, no tears in the material, meaning that the case is as good as new, even though it went through all that contortion. So there you go. That is why TPU is such a fun little material. Now, these 2 discolorations on the back of the case, not only are they for aesthetic purposes, but these are actually removable covers for different reasons. On the top left-hand corner, it's kind of obvious, the rear-facing camera on the iPhone 4. This is a very elaborate dust cover for that camera lens. So whenever you actually need to use a camera on your phone, just go ahead and remove the cover, place it somewhere else, wherever there are pegs free. That cover snaps on to anywhere you need it to snap on, and there you go. Once you no longer need to use a camera, or maybe you're going somewhere where there's going to be a lot of water, you just don't basically want your camera lens mucked up any more than it already probably is, put it back on the cover and you're now good to go. Now, some of you may be asking, well, what exactly is this 6-peg cover on the bottom of the case for? Well, believe it or not, not only is that for aesthetic purposes, but that actually acts as a kind of weird cord restraint system, which I'll show you a little bit later on our grape version of the case. You're just going to have to take my word for it, and if you're interested, well, stay tuned. I also want to mention that if you happen to own more than one case, it's kind of obvious. To quote a very popular cartoon show, which will remain nameless, you might want to go and catch them all. You're more than welcome to go ahead and add the other 6-peg covers to your current case, and well, just go and mess around with it. The fun is in your own personal design. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move these other colors out for a moment, and all these retail packages, because we no longer need them, but don't worry, I'll go and bring them back at the end of the video so you can go and look at them. Let's go ahead and show you the case on the actual iPhone 4 itself, starting with the front screen area. Now, the block case does have a lip on it, and as you can see right there, the lip isn't the deepest one in the world, it isn't the widest one in the world, but it is just enough to keep your iPhone 4 safe and up and away from any surface you happen to be resting it on, especially if you rest it on its face for whatever reason. We don't judge you. But I want to let you guys know that unfortunately the block case does not come with any type of screen protector. So if you want to go ahead and use a screen protector, you do have to bring your own, but we see no reason why it wouldn't work in conjunction with the block case, because the edges are pretty flexible and they shouldn't go ahead and bubble up the screen protector, at least any way we can see it. Moving on to the top of the case, you can see an opening for the audio jack. It is quite exposed, and it's actually not that receptive assessed. So if you have a straight connector, you're fine. If you have an angled connector, you're also fine as well. It should sit flush with your iPhone 4. The little covering for the sleep and wake button or the power button isn't the biggest one in the world, but it still is very easy to press, so no worries right there. Still feels like the naked iPhone 4. And moving on to the side, we have also two coverings for the volume up and down button, as well as an opening for the vibration switch or the mute button, wherever you like to refer to that as. On the other side, there's not much to talk about because it is left barren. So moving on to the bottom, we have three openings, one for the speaker, one for the microphone, and of course one for the all-important 30-pin dock connector on the iPhone 4 respectively. Now this is a pretty narrow opening, so please keep that in mind. Third-party connector tips, which usually are a little bit fat and are usually a little bit odd shaped, they may not sit flush in there, so you might want to use a thin connector head or of course the OEM cable, because that always works. That is very thin itself. Moving on to the back, let me go and show you a up-close view of all the little pegs on the back of the case itself. A very, of course, building brick design, a very popular Lego-like imitation. But of course, this is not an endorsed Lego product or anything like such, but looks cool all the same. Now, when I mentioned that crude cord management system, and I do mean somewhat crude because some people are going to be rolling their eyes when I talk about this right now, but I was just going to go and do it anyway. You can actually go ahead and use the pegs on the back and the spaces in between them as a cord management system. Well, exactly how does that work? Now, I'm going to do a very, very basic demonstration of this. There are going to be other people out there that do this much better than I do. But as you can see right here, the spaces in between the pegs actually are usable for cord. And you can actually just go and keep wrapping day in and day out and do whatever you need to do. And then wherever you happen to end, this little cover comes into place, because you basically put that cover over the cord where it's basically ending, because there's going to be some space to cover it, and that actually kind of keeps the cord in place. And well, there you go. That's how that works. Now, obviously, there are some people out there that are going to be saying, well, is that even really necessary? Because most folks out there, if they have like a headphone or a headset or something like that, they just wrap it really tightly around their iPhone 4 like that, and well, there you go. I don't need to do any of that stuff. It's just a big waste of time, right? Well, remember that this is a designer case, alright? That little covering right there, obviously it's not necessary, but it's just there to be cute. It's just there to add some more functionality to the case. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to use it. No one's forcing you to. But for those people that can be a little bit more creative, they can actually get a lot out of that, especially using all these little spaces in between the pegs. And that is pretty much it. So let's go and move our friends back here into the picture, all 6 case colors right now. This is the Sinra Design Works block case, once again, for the iPhone 4. Check them out at their official website. That is going to be, one more time, I'm going to go and flash this up there, at www.sinra-inc.com. Folks, if you need a gift idea this holiday season, if you need a gift idea just for heck anything, and your recipient happens to own an iPhone 4, we would see no reason why they would frown at getting a case like this. It's definitely a conversation starter. It looks really cool. It actually feels pretty nice, and if you get them more than one, I'm pretty sure they're going to be having a lot of fun with it, because they can do a lot of cool stuff with the case, and they can pretty much make their own unique designs with it. So once again, check them out at their official website and show us some love over on our own website at www.daydio.com. As far as we know, we're the first people to publicly talk about these cases and bring some attention to them, much deserved attention, I should say, to these particular covers. So, go ahead and do us the favor back and visit us on our website at www.daydio.com. Feel free to check out other upcoming videos with other Sinra design products. We're going to be doing a couple of them whenever possible at our YouTube channel, which is at Daydio on display. Keep following us here for more product previews, reviews, and demonstrations. Thanks, as always, for watching.